Remember guys, again, if you're new to this, no spoilers. I don't want to know anything until I see it. Okay, so this is it. We got some changes coming in for the game. It's not going to be that long. Also, hey, what's up, Tom? How you doing? So, right at the beginning, hello, Aesop here, bringing you patch 20.3. It's just a small patch. Notice only the last digit has changed. We've got some small balance adjustments and a few bug fixes for you this week. Before we go too deep, just remember, guys, that originally we were supposed to be getting Quantum Blink, I believe, next patch, not this patch. So that was supposed to be something that was like, these patches were going to be leading up to Quantum Blink coming out, but Quantum Blink has been scrapped. That's no longer going to be added into the game. So any of these changes might be a little weird. Who knows? So first of all, Adriana, initially, the first thing we see is Adriana will be doing less damage in duo. She was already doing only about 92% damage. She's now down to 88% damage. To me, I don't play a lot of Adriana. I also don't play that much duos, because duos is very low population in NA, and it takes too long for me to get games. So I don't play a ton of duos. I play some, but I don't play a ton. And in my experience, I didn't feel like Adriana was like too good in duos. I don't think Adriana is particularly that great at all in general. So I don't really know why they're nerfing her further, but maybe there's a buff somewhere later in the patch I don't know about. Maybe an item change. Kiara, her passive, she'll be getting less movement speed on ranks 2 and 3 of her passive. So it's going from 4-7-10 down to 4-6-8. Her W cooldown is being increased by 1 second at all ranks too. I'm glad they're nerfing Kiara. I don't know if these are exactly enough to take her down from being as kind of ridiculous as she is. To me, the core issues with Kiara is that she has a root which is too strong because it's impossible to break the chain for like 90% of the cast, and also her ultimate is extremely overloaded. It's got way too much attached to it. So I don't know if nerfing the W and nerfing her passive is necessarily what I want fixed about Kiara, but a nerf's a nerf, so I'm not going to complain. I guess that's all I'm going to say. Fiora, her Q, so they're trying to make her Q more relevant. They're making the range slightly longer, and they're making the width slightly wider. Her W is getting its attack damage ratio on the second hit cut down a little bit, mostly at later ranks. So basically, at the first rank, it's still going to be 20%, but at max rank, it's going from 80% down to 60%. So essentially, it's trying to hurt the late game scaling of Fiora, like just her raw burst on her W, and they're trying to compensate by maybe increasing the damage, or sorry, not the damage, increasing the ability for her Q to actually hit a target. Guard, which is her ultimate, is getting its attack power ratio lowered at the first and second rank, but it remains the same at max rank. So basically, her hey, Shoix, no spoilers, no spoilers. I don't know if there's been Dylan nerfs or not. We'll see. But yeah. So basically, her early ranks are going to have their damage reduced, but she'll be the same late game. But she's losing that late game damage on her W. So yeah. Oh, you're referring to the president? Yeah. So like basically, they're saying, yo, Fiora's double attack shouldn't be so strong, but then Dylan gets 2 1-to-1 attack ratios on all of her like 6 double autos or whatever, which is like, I don't know, that's mind-blowing to me too. Heart is going to be dealing 2% more damage in squad, which is almost back to 100% damage dealt in squad. And her base attack power is being reduced, but her attack power scaling is being increased. Now that, yeah, hey, Arc, please, no more spoilers, please, thank you. Heart is going to be getting more attack power per level, but she's losing some attack power in the early game. I don't know the exact math on how that balances out, but basically it's just trying to weaken her early game because her early game is really strong. Also, her dealing more damage in the squad is actually incredibly interesting to me, because to me, and I think a lot of us kind of in here would agree after, okay, look, let's be honest, the Heart build is really good. Heart in general is not bad at the moment, and I don't think she necessarily needs to be doing almost 100% damage in squad. I think she's really good. So I'm a little concerned about this. This is somebody who plays Heart, who kind of takes advantage of Heart at the moment. I don't think she necessarily needs this. But she is getting sort of an early game attack power nerf to compensate, so who knows, maybe it'll be enough. Yeah, it's the routing that's the issue, but if you are like a god at that routing, and it's kind of not that hard once you put some time into it, yeah, she's kind of insane. Hyunwoo, they're just buffing Hyun for whatever reason. They're making him have more attack power per level, which is... it's a kind of a lot of attack power per level too. Are you guys kind of noticing that? Point 3 is a lot. But yeah, he does kind of suck in the late game. I do agree. Gino's actually completely right. I do think Hyun does struggle to close out games. Like, he griefs, he gets like 5 kills early game, griefs the early game, and then kind of falls off and can't win. So maybe this is a correct move. I don't really know for sure. I'm just very wary of any Hyun buffs at all. Like, ever. Because Hyun, when Hyun is strong, he is not pleasant. Sylvia is getting more attack speed just in general. So when she has pistol, which is her only weapon, she's getting more attack speed, which is good because her base attack speed is actually pretty terrible. You kind of notice it, like, you have to get 15 stacks to get her 45% attack speed, right? Like that 45% buff. That's hitting all 15 zones, and even with that, you don't really notice it. It feels like you're just at like the base level that everyone else has. It's almost like you have to like work to get your attack speed back when you're playing this character. So they're buffing her base attack speed a little bit, and they're making Radar Gun, which is her Q, do a little bit more damage, which I think she needed. She needed just a little more damage in general. I still wish they would address her ultimate being kind of awkward, how you can only really use like 2 or 3 skills, or sorry, 3 or 4 skills before you're forced to get off the bike because you're on cooldown and now you can't do anything. So to me, that's her core issue, and this doesn't address that, but it's a start. They're gonna buff her. I can't complain. In any case, Lead Island getting less HP regen per level, Yuki getting less HP regen per level, and Magnus getting slightly less HP regen per level. All 3 of them actually getting slightly less HP regen per level. Sure, I guess just nerfing melee base HP regen per level, which is fine. Cicella, play with us. E projectile has a little harder to hit, is a little harder to hit and has a more accurate hitbox. So basically, the thing about her E before was it actually had a massive hitbox despite being a little tiny projectile. I forget if it was 8th or Shox was mentioning this. It has a lollipop effect at the end of its like grab range. It basically, like, at the end of the little tongue, it like expands into like a circle where it can very easily pull people where it really looks like it shouldn't have pulled them. So I'm assuming it's probably addressing that, but I'm not sure. Can you show us the difference between 1.6 and 1.5 in paint? What? Oh, like the projectile width? I don't know. I think basically it's just going to be very, very slightly thinner. It's going to be very, very slightly slower. That's the major difference. I don't know if they're actually going to be addressing the lollipop effect or not, but in any case, Zahir, this W is going to be a little bit slower. It's going from 15.5 ms to 14 meters per second, or whatever m is. I'm assuming it's meters. So making his W a little bit harder to hit, which is funny because they've actually already lowered the speed of his W before, like in a relatively recent patch. I want to say like a month ago. So it's interesting that they're trying to make his W even harder to hit, which honestly, to me, his W kind of wasn't that much of an issue at the moment, but I don't know. I don't know. We'll see. Weapon, we got some weapon changes. The skill amp per level on pistols is going up from 1.7 to 1.9. That is a really, really nice buff to Aya. It's a nice buff to Isol. It's a nice buff to Sylvia. See, here's the thing. Like, Sylvia obviously needs this, but I don't know if Aya or Isol necessarily needs this skill amp buff. I play a lot of skill amp, you know, hybrid Isol, hybrid pistol Aya, and honestly they kind of are fine as they are. I think they're in a very good balanced place. So it concerns me to see them getting too much free spell amp, because I don't want them to get nerfed in a more significant way for basically random buffs that don't really need to happen. Assault rifle, Gatling gun extra normal attack damage is being lowered from 14 down to 12. It was not just so long ago that it was actually up to 20. Like, they kept buffing Gatling gun because no one was using it, but I guess they're just gonna keep nerfing it now, and I'm not really sure why. To me, like, is anyone really using Gatling gun that much at the moment? Is that like more of a Korean server thing? Because I feel like all of the ARs I've been seeing lately have been AK-12, so I'm not sure why we're nerfing Gatling gun. It's a KR thing? Okay, well, I guess that's why. Spear. 18-foot spear attack power is being lowered from 110 down to 100. Hey guys, this is a great time to plug my video. If you guys don't want to run 18-foot spear anymore because it just got nerfed, I just put out a video on Genshin Silvergun Fiora build that's actually kind of insane. So if you want to check that out, that's over on my YouTube page. Trust me, I think it's already kind of better than 18-foot spear anyways, so check it out. It's crazy. That build's actually nuts. Guitar Teen Spirit is getting even less extra normal attack damage. Fuck it. Like I don't know, dude. I have been off of Teen Spirit sort of in general lately. I think that Amp Heart is the future for Heart. I don't really care about Teen Spirit anymore. I don't think it's that good. So they're nerfing it some more. This is clearly a case of the Korean server meta just being very different from the NA meta. In NA, I am seeing more Spell Amp Heart. In Korea, I am seeing more Enad Heart. And they're not addressing Spell Amp at all, and they're nerfing Teen Spirit. So I don't know. I think they're going to catch up to us being on Amp Heart at some point. I feel like this is just sort of out of date. Harp is getting its skill amp lowered from 50 down to 45, which is probably okay. Vibro Blade attack power being increased from 50 up to 53, a nice little Shoix buff. And Rapier is getting Durandal Mark II attack power increased from 48 to 51. Honestly, I think Durandal has been a little bit weaker since all of the like heavy nerfs that it got recently, so it probably needed to happen. As for the Harp change, I've always been of the opinion that Harp is kind of too good. Like, even though nobody's using it really at the moment, I still think Harp is too good. It's a weapon that can do so much for so little commitment. Like, you can play Harp Jackie and just run like full spell amp production and you're still going to be outputting a ton of damage. So that's a little odd. Shuriken, they're nerfing Petal Torrent and Azure Dagger extra normal, which breaks my heart. But not that much, because I'm a huge Azure Dagger fan. I run Azure Dagger on Sicella exclusively. I am not a Wind and Fire Wheels guy. I don't run Petal Torrent. I absolutely love Azure Dagger. I think that weapon's insane. So they're nerfing it. That's probably okay. I don't think this is going to affect my gameplay too much. I'm not too hurt, but I'm still going to be a little bit sad. Although I missed this, there's a glove change. Divine Fist attack power going from 38 up to 42, and Brazil Gauntlet is going from 45 up to 48 attack power. So it's a little buff to the two fists that we have been seeing way less of lately. So Brazil Gauntlet was actually, there was a brief period where Brazil Gauntlet was actually starting to see some waves of use, and I think it's a little slept on at the moment. If you want to try and maybe innovate something spicy for like a Hyunwoo kind of bruiser auto attacky build, consider innovating on Brazil Gauntlet. I think it's actually kind of decent. All right, what else? David Sling. The throw weapon David Sling is having its attack power increased again for like the second or third time now in a row. I don't know about this because it's actually kind of good already. So David Sling might be kind of crazy. That's a pretty big attack power buff. Creed of the Night, the crit damage is going down from 25% down to 20%, which to me, I'm actually totally on board with. I always felt like Creed of the Night was kind of insane for how little commitment you had to use on it. Like, it's 30 attack power and 25% crit damage. Like, sure, you lose a little bit of movement speed, but those stats are super overloaded for an offensive crit character. Eighth, you want it to be low key, and if it gets any better, it's gonna get nerfed. Yeah, I'm always worried about things I like, that I already like, getting buffed again, because it's like, wait a minute, hold on. If you buff it too much, it's gonna get like slammed with like an even bigger nerf, and we're gonna go back to where we were before, but worse. Mastery changes. Increase the required experience for defense mastery, and increase the required experience for hunt mastery. Basically, hunt and defense were kind of too easy to level, so they're going to be making it require more experience. Basically, each level. So originally, it was level 2 for. To get level 2 is 200 experience for defense. Now it's going to be base 230, and each level is going to increase by 20 more at each level. So that's kind of a lot. And when it comes to the hunt mastery, the base amount is the same, but each level is going to be increased by an additional 30 experience. And finally, system changes. While reducing the LP system points for position, the general average obtained LP has been decreased a bit. we've added some weight to player kills in solo mode and squad wipes, kill of entire teams in team modes. And since the LP system is a point system, you may wonder how many points you receive per kill and how many points do I get for placing first in solo. Unfortunately, there should not be a generalization for this. Eliminated targets are different for per each person, greatly varying final LP. So basically, they're trying to increase the amount of LP you get for wiping a squad in squad. But to me, this doesn't address the core issue in that if you're solo squatting, you get like 6 times more LP than somebody who's pre-mating. And right now, again, I say this like, I feel it's like every day. I feel like a completely broken record at this point. There's no point in playing squad as a pre-made squad at the moment if you're trying to get to the top tiers of the LP ladder. You simply cannot catch anybody who is solo squatting. You literally cannot gain LP fast enough because there is not enough time in the day to catch up to someone who is solo squatting if you are pre-mating. So this really probably will not change anything. It doesn't matter if you're full wiping the entire lobby like every time. Hey, what's up? What's up, Rainbow? And also, characters no longer frequently repeat voice lines when opening boxes. That's good. Indicator no longer incorrectly moves in the direction of the mouse cursor when using the nunchuck weapon skill. And Sylvia's sound effects have been adjusted and fixed to be in line with game sounds. And that's it. And that's the whole patch. That's the whole deal. So what do you guys think? I'm curious, like this isn't a very long patch. We didn't have to go super in depth on everything. What do you guys think about these changes? Why does this game have 32k viewers now? Because it's really, really popular in Korea. Yeah, it's massive in Korea now. Will Sylvia finally shut up now? She talks a lot, but they all kind of do. It didn't have viewers before because it was new. Like it just needed time to grow. I think it steps in the right direction. I kind of agree. It steps in the right direction. I feel like the changes to Fiora, I support. I feel like the changes to Sylvia are a step in the right direction. I feel like Dylan is somehow dodging every nerf. I feel like Shukai is somehow dodging every nerf. At least we're seeing a little bit of a Kiara nerf, but I just don't get why Dylan and Shukai are not getting nerfed. I don't get it. I kind of just don't get it. But anyways, those are my thoughts. Creed nerf is dumb? Don't agree. I think the Creed nerf is completely justified. I think that weapon is super overstated. At least it was before. Tabs are Shukai mains. Could be. Well, anyways, guys. It's a short patch review, so that's going to be it for me.